Three and out time, out of deal, Charles Ashley. You know we got to break down all these brackets. There's too many of them to go over every single one of them, at least right now, Charles. But first, we'll start out with a lot of great games last night. Playoff recap of the district tournament championship games. There was none better than Cleveland Rio Rancho. I know I was there. I saw it. I feel for Wally Salata's crew. Rio Rancho had a 2-point lead with 23 seconds left. Jeremy Snyder, the sophomore, was inbounding. It could not get it inbound. It was a 5-second call. Go into your horse. Marcus Williams scores. And then Rio Rancho, Brady Patterson just misses off the iron on a fade back. 1.5 seconds left. Marcus Williams was fouled. Went to the free throw line and nailed his free throw. Missed intentionally a second one. End of story.
Big time game by Marcus Williams. Double-double. They were stressing and going into him, from what I heard from the game, that they really put a focus on getting him the ball, taking advantage of the mismatch. I like Garrison, I like Snyder, but when Williams is getting it done, when they're getting him the ball, I don't think there's anyone out here that can guard him. And yeah, Wally had a bad game, I guess. His team lost, but they got a great seed. They had a great seed.
Not a bad game at all.
Well, a bad ending. So a bad ending. You know, you always want to find a way to get the ball in. I'm assuming they had no timeouts left because most coaches would call a timeout. I'm assuming they had no timeouts. Snyder, unfortunately, didn't get the ball. In that situation, I think you just throw the ball in. You just find a way to throw the ball in and hope that it work out, rather than take the 5-second count.
Well, because it's going to be a turnover anyway if you take
Exactly.
the 5-second count. You at least give somebody a shot to make a play at it. Look, difficult. What Coach Smith did a great job of is he put Marcus Williams. He's got a giant wingspan. Not Marcus Williams, excuse me. Marcus Gibson has
Yes,
this
I like
huge
Gibson.
wingspan. And it was tough for Snyder to get it in, and truthfully, no one was open. In the end, Rio Rancho, wonderful season, nothing to hang their heads. I think it's proof they know that they can compete against anybody here in the state. I don't think Wally Salata is worried about anybody.
No, not at all. He's going to face a Gaston team that the contrasting styles, I'm interested to see if they can force the Panthers to play at an up-tempo pace or whatnot. But Rio Rancho, great season so far. But it's not over. They have a chance right now to run through run through the state tournament, which I'm hoping to see Hobbs in Rio Rancho. I mean, I know Valley fans don't want to hear that. Some other fans don't want to hear it. But I do want to see Rio Rancho Hobbs.
There's no doubt.
Running and gunning at its finest.
There is no doubt that is potentially, it's a sexy matchup.
Yes.
That is the truth. We would love to see a lot of scoring. Almost like last night, though. Rio Rancho and Cleveland going at each other up and down the court was always fun to watch. That was round 3. Cleveland gets the best of them, so Cleveland do get the 2 seed. But let's talk about Valley and Albuquerque High School,
round
Charles.
4.
Right, and this time, for the 3rd straight time, it's Valley. So what is it about Coleman's Vikings that have them playing so good right now? Regular season district champs, tournament champs.
They're playing well right now. The younger guys are developing, really getting comfortable in their roles. Chavez is very solid at point guard. I'm talking doesn't turn the ball over.
Good.
Padilla,
if you have not seen Anthony Chavez, the freshman, you need to see him.
They will. You're going to be blown away about how skilled this kid is as a freshman. You have Padilla, the senior, knocking down big shots. And Idiaki, he's the horse that really gets the team going. When he's making shots, when he's getting out, he can shoot. He's knocking down threes. He's a great rebounder. And then you have Saltese in the middle. Hard person to guard down there because he's so big.
Add all that with Valley being the most disciplined
team. With
team,
Coach Coleman, who's one of the best.
They play physical, and so you've got to love what they have. They do have a monster on the inside that's always in foul trouble, but it is a presence, Teton Salty. So it'll be interesting to see how they progress going into the state tournament. But right now, I think Valley Vikings got to be happy with where they're at that 5 seed.
Yeah, they're happy where they're at. I think they're looking at the bracket saying we can match up with whomever is on our side of the bracket. They're never those District 5 teams, they always play hard. They're not going to be scared. So I see Valley coming out very confident, winning at home. I believe they have to play on Yate or whatnot. I don't want to give away too much of the bracket because we're going to break that down. But Valley's sitting pretty right now. They're flying high. If they can rebound, besides Salties, knock down their shots, which they've been doing lately, Valley's going to be a tough matchup for anyone.
Okay, so one more to talk about on the boys' side of things. Sandia taking on La Cueva. La Cueva had beat Sandia the last time they played. In fact, La Cueva is starting to play a little bit better. Monster win against El Dorado, which we believe was a playoff game to start the playoffs, as the El Dorado Eagles did not make it. But this time it was the Sandia Matadors. No problem for Alvin Burchard's team. You mentioned it. Caleb Orton was on fire. 58-41, the final score of that one.
It was. I mean, Sandia, this is a different team than the beginning of the season. I believe they've won 13 of their last 14, and they avenged the loss that La Cueva gave them in district. Roden and Abbott are developing inside, which helps out a slasher like Sam Cruz, and it really helps out Bobby Tapia, who's the gunner on that team, the sophomore. He's really made a difference for their team. Yeah, because they had no outside shooting, so people were just crowding in a block, making the bigs have to face double teams, triple teams. Tapia came in, he's knocking down shots, opens the floor, and Roden last night, 25 and 17. You don't accidentally get 25 and 17. Big time game by the big man.
I want to talk about the matchup in the girls' side, Volcano Vista and Seablum. What a rivalry that they have generated, especially as of late on the ladies' side. Obviously, these two schools are rivals for a reason. They're in the same district. They've split. Most of these students used to go to Cibola High School until Volcano was made and so on. But Cibola, again, gets the best of Volcano. Volcano has won once in district, which tied it up. They played that district tiebreaker, and then now here in the district tournament. This is interesting, though, Charles, because Cibola wins again, but Cibola might have to play Volcano again in the quarterfinals, which I know Coach Lori Mabry would hope to have waited for the finals or semifinals at least.
Well, any team, you really don't want to play anyone more than 3 times.
Especially when you know each other.
You know each other so well.
To lose.
Yeah, because now in those situations, players have to make the plays because you know the sets that the opponent's going to run. You know the coaching style. You are so familiar with one another. It just comes down to who has the best players, who are the people showing up. And I think Cibola, if you notice with these scores, Volcano inches closer and closer, closer and closer. They're closer games. So Volcano has to be confident seeing we get a chance at Cibola one more time, possibly.
Well, that's what we have listed out. Those are the matchups in the district tournaments. Now we're going to break everything down and go over our thoughts about the brackets when you return. Keep it right here. It's uSports Central.